It's January 2019, and this is the Library Roadshow. On the show today, bugs, maps, and Google. All that and more coming up next. Welcome to the January edition of the Library Roadshow. I'm Mary Stein, and this is a production of your East Baton Rouge Parish Library System. Let's start the new year off right. I am delighted to announce that the library system has once again been named a Star Library by Library Journal. More than 7,300 libraries were ranked. We were the only library in Louisiana to receive this honor. This starred rating is based on a combination of measures: overall circulation, visits to the library, attendance at library programs, public computer internet use, and circulation of electronic materials. So when you get right down to it, this award is actually our Patrons Award. You are the ones who check materials out, downloaded, visited, got online, and attended programs. So thanks for once again making us all stars. And looking forward, we're off to a great start for 2019. Terrific programs on how to get and stay organized, Fraud Watch, and Super Tax Day will help you get your house in order. And the Baton Rouge Room Lecture Series is starting off with the fascinating story about artist Clementine Hunter and the hunt for forgeries. Inspired by this past year's nationwide contest to pick America's great reads, our children's services staff have launched their own search for the greatest children's books. We kick off the spring semester of Storytime and keep up the heat in teen services with STEM and STEAM programs at all locations. It's all free, of course. Check out the new edition of The Source to find out more.
Free access to books, audio, and library resources are just a few of the benefits available to you when you get a library card. Need free access to a computer? You get that. Want free access to premium digital resources like Mango Languages and lynda.com? You get that. Need to book a meeting space? You get that. Heck, you can even check out a telescope or use a digital printer with your library card. If you live in East Baton Rouge Parish, pick up your free library card from your local branch library today. Premium access to everything the library system has to offer is waiting for you.
We started calling everyone makers once we added in digital creation. But as long as I've been around, the library has supported amateur and professional crafters and hobbyists by providing books, magazines, DVDs, programs, and even classes. And now in the digital age, you can also search for creative how-tos on Pinterest and YouTube. There are millions of them out there. However, you might find that you spend more time browsing and less time doing. And sometimes the person posting the how-to is perhaps not as organized or instructive as you might need. So to help you zoom in quickly on well-made videos by craft wizards from Joann's, the library has added Creative Bug to the digital library. Adam St. Pierre joins us now to explain in the digital download.
The library is pleased to announce its newest digital resource in Creative Bug. Creative Bug features over 1,000 on-demand courses for quilting, sewing, papercraft, painting, jewelry making, canning, holiday-themed decorations, kids crafts, and a ton more. Don't think of yourself as creative? Maybe you're feeling uninspired. Well, Creative Bug has daily prompts to get you in a more creative state of mind. Can't do a full class? Creative Bug's got quick classes and classes geared toward beginners like me. So whether you want to knit, crochet, make ceramics, hand stitch something, or make a set of earrings, Creative Bug has got you covered. And it's all free with just your library card. To check out Creative Bug, head over to the digital library page at ebrpl.com.
Thanks, Adam. As a crafter myself, I really appreciate that these videos are produced by experts. Don't forget, we also have tons of full-color magazines and how-to books in the library, plus online magazines and even the Hobby and Craft Reference Center in the digital library. Let's shift gears and check in with Kayla Perkins reporting in from Beyond the Stacks.
We've had some big names hosting programming throughout our library system. That was true again last month. We've said it before, and now here's proof. Your library means business. We're at the main library at Goodwood for the Ultimate Marketing Playbook event with Google. Let's check it out. The Library Small Business Services Division partnered with Blinkjar Media and Simply 360 to welcome Google to Baton Rouge.
My name is Sixia Devine, and I'm the national speaker for Google Get Your Business Online. And this morning, I'm going to be educating small businesses on how to get their business online.
This program promised to help local business owners and those aspiring to be utilize online tools to position themselves for success.
So there's going to be a combination of topics. It's going to be a lot of fun because we're going to be mixing digital marketing tips like how to grow your business using social media, how to grow your business using email, and most importantly, how to grow your business using our favorite platform called Google My Business.
Google My Business is a tool that indexes a company within the Google search platform. There's a lot to it.
Sometimes there's so much information out there that, we can get overwhelmed. And the other thing is creating some kind of a plan that makes sense. Because at the end of the day, if you don't know where you're going, it's like a GPS, right? It's like, if you want to go somewhere, but you don't know how to get there, then, the process of you getting there is probably going to take longer and it's going to be more complicated. So we help to simplify that process.
And that's a goal we share at the library. You can get free tools, advice, and support right now from the library's small business services.
Well, we'll come out to you, or you can come to the library and we'll meet one-on-one and find out about what you're actually looking for so we can cater our resources specifically to what your needs are.
I think that when businesses connect with each other, I think that magic happens because they might identify a new client, they might learn something from somebody else. So the opportunity just to be here and to be present is powerful.
Businesses are getting the free tools, resources, and support they need to grow at the library. Get plugged into these free services for your business today.
So if you're looking at starting a business, you can get in touch with us at smallbusiness@ebrpl.com, and then we'll come out and we'll talk to you and give you a consultation, all of course free.
To learn more about small business services, visit the info guide at our website. To find out what's coming up next, pick up a copy of our monthly newsletter, The Source, or visit us online at www.ebrpl.com.
Thanks, Kayla. We were so pleased to be a part of this special seminar for small business owners. It was a nice ending to the first year of the library's small business service. Since the service began, we've reached more than 950 people who directly engage with our services. Thousands of you have dived into our premier digital resources for business, attended free programs and workshops, and even scheduled your one-on-one consultations with the business librarian. There's also a robust info guide at ebrpl.com/smallbusiness. If you'd like to find out more about the library's small business service, just email smallbusiness@ebrpl.com or call Andrew Tadman at 225-231-3750. Stay right there. After the break, Patricia Husband joins me for a chat right here on the Library Roadshow.
I'm Zoe Kravitz from Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. Books are magical, and reading can transform your life. Libraries make sure people of all backgrounds can experience the wonder of literature through literacy programs and access to media. Spread the magic by supporting your library.
As an American, it's hard to hear that we have a serious hunger issue in our country. And as a parent, it's even harder to hear that 1 in 5 of our kids struggles with hunger, especially when billions of pounds of good food are wasted every year. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide billions of meals to families in need right in your community. Visit feedingamerica.org to support Feeding America in your local food bank. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Do you wonder how your family landed here? Do you really know your family roots? Discover more about your family history at the East Baton Rouge Parish Library Genealogy Department. East Baton Rouge Parish Library. Become a member and discover more.
You're watching the January edition of the Library Roadshow. Everything you need to know about your local library system. Patricia Husband is my counterpart here at the library. She's the Assistant Director of Branch Services, which means that she is directly responsible for our 13 branches conveniently located throughout the parish. That includes shepherding a host of maintenance and renovation projects through the system. So, Patricia, the library has begun construction at the Greenwell Springs Road Regional Branch Library. Tell us what's going on at Greenwell Springs.
Well, we're in the middle of phase 1. We have demoed the reference side of the building. That's the adult side of the building. Mm-hmm. We've added some space at the adult side, and we've poured slab at the back of the library where we're going to locate the new restrooms, and we poured a slab at the front of the west side of the library in front of the children's area for our new teen space.
So these are some very exciting new spaces. We are bumping out the building for the teen area, and in the adult area, I'm so excited you were able to put in some collaborative study rooms.
We have a quiet reading room, we have a technology lab, we have a programming room, and we have a couple of small study rooms.
That's great. People are really enjoying those here at Maine and Fairwood and Bluebonnet.
And our program rooms at the teen area, we'll have a program room and another meeting room so that we'll have space there for teens to enjoy as well.
That's great. So it'll be a very welcoming, up-to-date, state-of-the-art building.
Exactly. We'll have more technology, we'll have a few more computers, and we'll have just more designated space for people to work and study and visit.
So you mentioned phasing. This first phase takes care of the adult side. But then what happens?
Once we finish with the adult side, we'll move everybody over to that adult side. We'll work on the children's area, which is the other side of the building, and that will help us construct the children's area and the teen area. And then we'll focus on the middle section, the entrance and the meeting rooms, and just the gathering space.
So it's kind of like when you renovate your house, maybe you temporarily move the kitchen to the bathroom or the garage while you all live in the living room and work on all the other rooms. That's kind of what we're doing.
Yes.
And it's in an effort to avoid closing the building any more than we have to.
We don't want people to see an empty building for several months. So
well, they need the services.
They do, and they come in for the computers, they come in for the resources, and so we want the building to be operational as much as possible. And there will be some inconvenience, there'll be a little bit noise, there will be some temporary closures while we do things that are critical, like air conditioning and skylights, and that will be coming up soon, early next year, or early in February.
Right.
So we are going to have some temporary closings, but we're going to do our best to keep the building open and functional as much as possible.
Well, I know people are very excited to see the progress, and they're drawing on the little mural wall and giving good wishes to the contractors. And I must say, in all the construction projects that I have been a part of, that is the cleanest job site I have ever been on. So kudos to our wonderful contractors. Now, coming up, Jones Creek Regional Branch Library is also about ready to make some noise.
Yes, it is. We have been reviewing construction documents, and we're working on details and furniture layouts and power and data layouts.
Patricia.
Well, if I'm coming to the library, I probably want to plug a device in, so I want to make sure we've got power when we need power and data where we need data so that we can use the equipment we're going to have in there. We're going to have study rooms in that building. We're going to have a conference room. We're going to have a dedicated teen space with a program room and study room, and we're going to have a quiet reading room.
So excited to see these great new changes that are happening. It's all part of the capital improvements plan, and further down the road we'll be thinking about hiring an architect and designing for what?
Scotlandville and Baker are next on the list.
But also the South Branch.
And the South Branch.
Yeah,
so we've got a lot on our plate, and
it's all
we're
part
happy.
of that big construction capital improvement plan that we have going for this 10-year period.
Yes.
After the break, author Renee Yuze, plus book reviews from one of our younger library patrons. All that and more coming up next on the Library Roadshow.
I'm Zoe Kravitz from Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald. Books are magical, and reading can transform your life. Libraries make sure people of all backgrounds can experience the wonder of literature through literacy programs and access to media. Spread the magic by supporting your library.
Welcome back to the January edition of the Library Roadshow. Unpacking history is something best done in the written word. It's even more special when that history is local. My next guest has authored such a book entitled Yellow Jack, The Yellow Fever Epidemic of 1853. It's rich in details and local context. Author Renee Yuze joins me now by phone. Renee, how did you get your start as an author?
My interest in becoming an author started in 2003 when I was doing research on a piece of land that I owned in Parish, Louisiana, near the mouth of the Mississippi River.
What is Yellow Jacket about?
My book is about the yellow fever epidemic that struck New Orleans in 1853, which was the worst one they had, killing nearly 9,000. Some historians have that number at nearly 11,000. But it begins then in 1853, and then in 1856, there's a second outbreak of yellow fever, which prompted a government seizure of a piece of property near the mouth of the Mississippi River, which was owned by a gentleman named Eustace Beckworth. Now, that land was held by the government for 150 years for military reasons. After that, a government cover-up ensued. Then in 2007, intense court proceedings begin. The Beckworth family, who is the heir to the Beckworth land, the Beckworth family versus the United States government. And in the trial, the trial reveals secret meetings and scandals and negligence and murder and political corruption. And that is what my book is about.
What inspired you to write this book?
What inspired me to write the book is just my interest in Louisiana history and Louisiana politics, actually. So the book is a lot of political animosity going on between a few people in the book, and that's what inspired me.
Renee, how can folks learn more about you and your work?
They can go to yellowjackbook.com, yellowjackbook.com, and there is my website, which has more information about me, an awful lot of information about Yellow Jack, the book, which is completely named Yellow Jack, New Orleans History Revisited, The Yellow Fever Epidemic of 1853 by Renee Yuze. Thank you.
Thanks, Renee, for joining us today. You folks at home can pick up a copy of Renee's book today. Just check out a copy at your local library branch using your free library card. Let's shift gears now and visit with one of our younger patrons to find out what they're reading at the library.
Hi, my name is London. I am 10 and my favorite book is The Tale of Despereaux. The book is about where there's this castle. It was back, I would say, when they had princesses and princes. And so the mice were always afraid of the humans, but there was just one mouse, Despereaux. He was born, but his eyes were open. And he would always worry about other things that mouse wouldn't worry about. And then one day he ended up talking to one of the humans, and he was put in the dungeon with the rats, but he survived. And now all the mice and humans are friends. Chapter 1, the last one. This story begins within the walls of the castle, with the birth of a mouse, a small mouse, the last mouse born to his parents, and the only one of his litter to be born alive. When I come to the library, I like to look at the new books and kind of learn about some new books and history.
Thanks, London. It's great to see even the youngest in our community making good use of the library system. Stay right there. When we come back, we'll visit with the Baton Rouge Room Archive and take a trip to the innovation space at the Bluebonnet Regional Branch. All that and more right here on the Library Roadshow.
Well, Thomas, you've got prediabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
Hey, I'm Constance Wu. Did you know that Crazy Rich Asians was a book before it became a movie? You can still find books at the library, but libraries have so much more, including educational programs for families and opportunities for community engagement and professional development. So visit your library today.
Daniel Alfred Sanborn, a civil engineer and surveyor, began working on fire insurance maps in 1866. That year, he was contracted by the Aetna Insurance Company to prepare maps of areas in Tennessee. About the same time, he developed a similar map of Boston, which was published as Insurance Map of Boston, Volume 1, 1867. Seeing a lucrative market for this type of map, he established the D.A. Sanborn National Insurance Diagram Bureau in New York City to publish the Boston Atlas and develop and sell maps of additional areas. Sanborn maps provide many layers of information and can greatly assist in researching the history of individual properties as well as the evolution of incorporated areas of cities. Suburban areas were not usually mapped. Using the symbols found on Sanborn maps, you can uncover the history of a building or site. For example, each type of construction is color-coded. Yellow for a frame building, blue for concrete or cinder block construction, brown for adobe, etc. You can also determine if a structure was a dwelling or a business, how many stories it contained, and even where the windows were located. Because Sanborn maps were produced periodically, comparing maps of the same area in different years can show you how an area has changed over time. The Special Collections Department of the East Baton Rouge Parish Library has access to this rich resource in both print and online formats. Located in our digital library, the Fire Insurance Maps online database can be accessed from home with a current East Baton Rouge Parish Library card. This interactive database is easy to use and contains maps from all over the United States. If you would like to view actual physical copies of the maps of Baton Rouge, you can come to the Baton Rouge room located in the Special Collections Department on the second floor of the main library at Goodwood, and an archivist will assist you.
You're watching the January edition of the Library Roadshow, a production of your East Baton Rouge Parish Library System. I just love maps, a wonderful blend of art and science. The Baton Rouge room contains hundreds of local maps from all different time periods, but it's great to add this rich resource to the digital collection. Using the new FEMO tool for Sanborn maps, I was easily able to zoom in on historical locations, everything from downtown Baton Rouge to my old homestead in West Virginia. Keyword, easy. That's just one of the many free services available with your East Baton Rouge Parish Library card.
Your library card can also give you access to the tools and tech necessary to make your very own podcast. I recently visited the Bluebonnet branch location to learn all about their new innovation space.
The innovation space is a creative lab for patrons to come in and use multiple different types of equipment. So we have a 3D printer where patrons can take a badging class, as we call it, come in and get trained on a 1.5 hour class where they learn how to use the printer and print something out themselves. And then after they take that class, they can book the space themselves up to 4 hours at a time, where they can come in and 3D print something, grab something off the web that they like to have a model of. Or we also have access to modeling software where they can come in and create their own object, print that out, all in a couple hours. So this is the Lulzbot Mini. It's a 3D printer. And so what we have here is the plastic filament that spools into the top extruder head here. And the machine will heat up this plastic, and then there's a nozzle that it will also heat up and squirt out onto the build plate here. So it prints it layer by layer by layer, moving the extruder head and the build plate at the same time to eventually create a 3D object. We also have the AV class for audiovisual equipment. They can come in and use a GoPro camera. They can use a Yamaha mixer and microphones. come in and make a podcast, record a song, make a short video. So here we have the Yamaha mixer and a microphone, and I have it plugged in through a USB cable into the iMac here, and we'll be using GarageBand to record your voice. So if you want to speak into the microphone, we'll be able to hear you coming through the computer.
This is Kayla testing microphone levels.
There you go. So what you would do is just hit record here, and you'll be able to see the tracks start to be created as you talk. So if you speak into it, we should be able to see some levels there. Test it out.
Testing levels.
You got your level coming through.
Some levels are coming through.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. And then once you're done recording, hit stop. You know, you might want to do some editing or tweaking with it. And then from there, you'd be able to share it, save it onto your flash drive, and then take it home with you.
That seems really easy.
Yeah, it's really easy.
Wow.
This is brand new. This is not something that we've ever had, or most libraries have had, you know, in the last, 20, 30 years. So this is cutting edge, you know. This is something that's really exciting. I think we're providing access to a technology that not everybody can get their hands on, and that's really, a big part of the library's mission statement is just providing that access to information, to technology, and helping kind of open the doors for people into, if it's just for fun, that's great, but it also could be a good career advancement tool where someone could come in here and learn a skill and then apply that to, a job that they're currently in, or, add it to their resume, hey, I know how to do this. I trained myself at the library, so it could be a great tool and asset for people.
The Innovation Space is available to card-carrying library members ages 12 and up. Training classes are provided and required to get you up to speed, after which you can book the lab for private use. I am totally going to make a podcast.
And now for today's contest. Visit the library's Facebook page at facebook.com/ebrpl. Tell us what's your library resolution. What new thing do you want to try? That's facebook.com/ebrpl. And while you're there, enjoy. We are not your grandfather's library anymore. What's coming up on the Library Roadshow in February? One Book, One Community, of course. And we're going to release the hounds.
And coming up next month, I'll share another digital resource with you.
Tune in next month, and I'll be helping Mary let the dogs out.
Thanks so much for joining us on the Library Roadshow. And remember, your East Baton Rouge Parish Library is open 7 days a week at each and every one of 14 branches, plus 24/7 on the web. Check us out at ebrpl.com.
And that's how it goes.